Hi there! Just real quick, if you only want to see a specific section in this video, or if you only want to hear my thoughts on which line in Dreamland represents which song, you can go into the description. I put little timestamps there so you can find the part you're looking for very easily. And if you didn't get the memo like me, that a lot of the lyrics were already published, you can stick around and I'll kind of walk you through everything we kind of know and the things that have been said in interviews, and also some of my personal thoughts on what the songs could mean and some predictions. Okay, thanks, have fun! It's filming. Okay. Hi guys. I want to talk to you about Dreamland by Glass Animals. They said in some promo stuff and like interviews that Dreamland the song was sort of an index for Dreamland the album. So I wanted to take like all the information we have available to us right now. So the interviews, the articles, live streams, and also the splatter vinyl, like I'll put a picture up where you can see the lyrics for some of the songs printed on them. Part of it is obviously covered up, but you can actually make out a few things. So I wanted to take all this information. I just wanted to look into that and like want to form like some of my conclusions of which line of the song Dreamland responds to which song. And I thought it would be fun to do that before the album comes out and maybe after. That could be fun. And I also wanted to do this as a video because I think nobody wants to read a 30-page PDF of my wild ramblings. Oh yeah, and we're talking about some sensitive subjects today, so I'm just gonna put like a little warning when that's coming up. And also I'm probably gonna put it in, like with a timestamp in the description, so just so you know. And also spoilers, I guess. Also, these are just my opinions, so obviously you can interpret the lyrics differently and you can interpret everything differently, or maybe you heard something that I missed and that changes how you view a certain song or certain things. So if you have that, maybe drop a comment. I'm interested to hear your opinions. Right, so I wanted to throw in a couple of my own predictions that are based on absolutely nothing and are basically just a guess, so that when we look back on this video when the album is out, we can sort of, or I can sort of look and see like what I thought the album would be like and like compare that to what we actually got. And I think that could be quite funny. Again, these are based on nothing. Okay, I think it's gonna be a good album and I'm really excited. This is basically why I'm making this video. I have no one to talk to about this, so enjoy. So the setlist has been published and like obviously the first song is Dreamland, we know that. But I thought we could talk about Dreamland at the end when we know the rest. So that makes a little more sense. Basically in this video I won't talk about the tracks that are titled Home Movies and Then Something, because those are just interludes and they're just audio ripped from old family movies, I guess, family films of Dave and his mom, and it's basically just talking with a bit of music in the background. So also there's nothing we can really pull from that, so I don't really know what to say about them or how to include them. So the song we're actually gonna start with is Tangerine. Tangerine is, according to Google, 3 minutes 21 seconds. In an interview with Blood magazine, it has been said that Tangerine is about when somebody you've known and loved for a long time begins to change for one reason or another, but you still see those tangerine dots in their eyes from time to time, a glimmer of who they used to be. Maybe it's something they say or do, he says, so you keep being attached to this person, this old version of the person that's actually kind of a wanker now. This song is also floating around on YouTube right now, like in a video taken before like Corona hit, and they actually performed it at one of the performances. Okay, so for the lyrics, I'm reading this off the screen by the way, so the lyrics go as follows, and because there's the performance and I heard it, like I'm pretty sure that's what it is, like I'm pretty sure that's like accurate. Also part of the lyrics were posted on, or part of the lyrics I'm showing you in the upcoming bits are taken from genius.com, but I don't know how like legit they are, because I don't know how legit they are. Like I kind of checked with the vinyl and some of them are pretty accurate, but not all of them. And I think it's community run platform, so I don't know how legit all of that is. So we'll see. We'll see. 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. Okay. So for lyrics, we have as cold as an old ice cream sandwich, as focused as Mr. Miyagi. You poke at your phone, posting aerial photos of you with your smoothie. I can't keep on making you happy because you got issues with your daddy. I miss ramen noodles and laughing at you and your gram in home movies. I wish you could show more of yourself. I wish I could make you somebody else. But I left it way too late, or on Genius it says, or but I think I'm way too late. Are you stuck in your old ways? And I think that's the first verse. So what we see here is that the person the song is about is not like they used to be. Which brings us to the chorus. I'm begging hands, knees, please. Tangerine, come back to me. You got what I need, Tangerine. Do this for me, hands, knees, please. Tangerine, sugar, honey, sweet. Got what I need, Tangerine. We can see here that the chorus addresses a person directly and sort of asks them to return their relationship to how it used to be. And then the next part is, you can't see it on the vinyl, it's pretty covered up. You let the devil in, and all you talk is money, 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 money. It's so funny how it changes how you feel. I see how you need, how you sleep. You're freed on caffeine, how you're looking at me. I love it when the light sits on you just right. Tiny tangerine freckles painted in your eyes. The second verse describes how the person sort of changed over time. And also the speaker talks about the things that occasionally remind them of how things used to be and how this person used to be. You've been dreamless, we sleeping for years, super clear since the late 1990s. You only look at me properly now when you're drunk, watching movies. Why are you? What happened? I want what we had. Where you're hiding? It's 2:23. You got friends on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. And in the third verse, the speaker sort of wondered how this person and them have become so estranged, and wants them to return and wants things to return to how they used to be. Tangerine might be about holding on to somebody even though they're a different person now, and kind of admitting to yourself that they've changed. So about Tangerine, I already heard the song, it's a banger, I love it. Grade A. Amazing, love it, perfect. So the next song is Hot Sugar, and it's 3 minutes 55 seconds. We know significantly less about this song, like I don't think they played it, or at least I couldn't find anyone saying that they did. And I also, it's not really mentioned in any interviews. So the lyrics that we can see on the vinyl are as follows. Long black tulips born in your blue tints, lemongrass eyelets, smoke in your slick lips, chocolate chapstick, back tests, rat tips, swimming pool spaceships light through the wave tips. And then the chorus, or what I assume is the chorus, is hot sugar in the afternoon. I wish that we could be real too. Hot sugar in the afternoon. I wish that we could be real too. And then another part, which I think is also part of the song, because also part of the titles are covered up on the vinyl. So cool that we don't talk. Hotels and alcohol, small paintings on the wall. And then there's another line, but I have no idea what that's saying. So hot sugar. I think it might be about drugs, relationships, maybe, about like drugs and relationships, and like how drugs can affect your relationships, maybe, like a little bit like cane sugar, actually, not just because they both have sugar in the title, by the way. I'm not sure, it's not really a whole lot. I'm also not really familiar with like that kind of lingo, so okay, I think hot sugar is going to be like really upbeat, just summer vibes, club vibes. What else did I write? Or I predict it's gonna have like a really iconic melody, like an iconic synth line or something. And I think it's gonna be a lot of people's favorite song. I think it's gonna be a really, really good one. Next song is Space Ghost Coast to Coast. It's 3 minutes, 8 seconds. And I think that's the one we have actually the most information about, because it gets spoken about a lot, actually. So in an article in DIY magazine, it said that it's about a friend of mine who I was really close with growing up. I moved to England eventually and we lost touch. And then they tried to do a school shooting. In an article published by Flood magazine, it has been said that it's about one of Bailey's childhood friends who later discovered planned a school shooting and was caught after trying to bring a gun to a local school. It's when somebody who you think you'll always trust, even if you're not in contact, does something that you think is unspeakably horrible and you can never forgive them, says Bailey. It's thinking back on that and how somebody can change so much in a short time. Okay, so then we have the lyrics, which not all of them are visible on the vinyl, so I'm just, could be that, could be anything else. So it starts with, I said, why did you do it? Touch the glass, I feel you threw it against the wall with the bracelets on. You look bizarre in the apricot. This is obviously about visiting said friend in jail, like the bracelets being the handcuffs and the apricot being like the jail uniform. I don't know what they're called. So then what I assume is the chorus. You think that you're space ghost, you wanted coast to coast, fuck that shit, now I go my way and you go yours. Okay, so next verse is gotta be all that Coco A. Playing too much of that GTA, playing too much of that Dr. Dre. Doom, Quake, where'd you get the gun from, eh? So I think in this verse he is obviously talking or wondering why this person developed that, that desire, I guess, for like lack of a better word, to do a school shooting, like where they got like that violent tendency from, just how that happened, because they used to be a different person, maybe? Just wondering where that came from. Okay, so next is really think that Melon gonna make you safe, playing peekaboo with the devil these days, black cap back with a trench coat, living in the valley cutting porno tapes. So this is more talking about the person. Yeah, I think this ties in with the next lines of wondering with just like why they did it, basically. Then we get the chorus again, and then we get were you bored of gender norms, of being alone, no mama home, a bad divorce, sad we can't afford the clothes our heroes on. So again, just talking about the reasons for why that person attempted a school shooting and just wondering how that happened. Okay, so the next few lines explore how like their relationship used to be, like their childhood. So remember when you stole mom's old Geo Metro, you wore her old bathrobe, too small to see the road. We were just two Texas toddlers, Pokemon, bottle rockets, Dunkaroos, real monsters. Capri Sun straw in the bottom. Heard you were looking up the cookbook, names cut in the back of your bedroom door frame. Supervillain with a manifesto, dang. Got them saying I'm pretty glad they caught you, man. He describes how they found out he was planning a school shooting and how he thinks that's really fucked up that he did that. And I think in the last part he just talks about his childhood, about their childhood together. So get back to the kickball days, to hold hands at school these days, or to hold hands at school disco days. It's, I don't know, it's kind of blurry. I can't really tell what that says. 007 Nintendo games or 007 Nintendo James, which according to Genius, I don't know. Burning hot pockets in the microwave, so like just their childhood together and times they spent together, I guess. And then we get the chorus again, and that's it. Space Ghost Coast to Coast is about a childhood friend turned school shooter.
Apparently they played Space Ghost Coast to Coast at a performance, and somebody recorded it, but I can't find it anywhere, so I don't know how, like, what it sounds like. I haven't heard it. I think the song is gonna have a, like, somewhere towards the end, this song is gonna have, like, a really big drop, and then it's gonna be like, ooh, I don't know music, but, like, it's gonna be really cool. I wrote in my notes that it will slap, which, yeah, definitely. I think it's also gonna be, like, a really fast song, or on the faster side, so it's gonna have quite the tempo to it. And I also think there's going to be like some kind of vintage element or a video game element, because it's talking about his childhood. So I could imagine that they're similar to season 2 episode 3, that there are some kind of elements in the music that reflect that kind of childhood thing. And I also think it's gonna have a pitch down voice. I don't know why. I just thought it fit. Okay.
So the next song we already know. It's called Tokyo Drifting. It's 3 minutes 27. Again, I'm not gonna go into like too much of, because if you're here, you know the song, okay? So I'm just gonna like do a quick one on these. Also, with the other songs that are out that have like the Dreamland-esque cover, I'm gonna talk about the covers too, but like this one has the fresh fruit cover, so the, what is it, a dragon fruit? I think there's not much we can, because it was released before Dreamland was like happening, because Tokyo Drifting wasn't originally gonna be on the album, so I don't think there's any hints. So let's talk Tokyo Drifting. So yeah, I think Tokyo Drifting is about maybe hyping yourself up to be something you're not necessarily, and just trying to be cool and appeal to the people around you, even though that's not always what you feel like and what you are, and how you portray yourself in society and to be viewed as acceptable or cool. And it's about kind of what image you put out there to be viewed as cool and acceptable by society, even though what you put out isn't always what you want or what you personally desire out of life. Okay, next. Okay, so the next song is called Melon and the Coconut. It's 2:29. We don't know anything. Nobody said anything. But I think I found something on the vinyl, so here is what I dug up. You can basically see Melon and the Coconut are sitting and the rest is covered up. Then there's another bit large portion covered. And then it says, I know I can, or possibly I can't, but I think it's gonna say I can't, because the next two lines are also I can't. So just from like a lyrical standpoint, that it would make more sense to say I can't than I can. So I know I can't stop, I can't hide, I'm not making you, too much, covered, and Off-White Air Force Ones in, your fucking coconut can't even fit in them. Even if you could, you couldn't even pull them off. So that's it. That's all we know. But I think from that, it's obviously a kind of argument between the melon and the coconut. And I think because of that part about the Air Force Ones, it's maybe about, I don't want to say like poser culture. Not really. That's not the term for it. What is it called? Like people who just pretend they're like cool by, people who want to seem like cool and trendy by gravitating towards like a certain style, like certain streetwear with like the Air Force Ones. This is like one person being like, oh, you're not cool because you're not trying to, person, one fruit, trying to be like, oh, you're not cool because you don't fit XYZ criteria. And then the other one, like the melon, is sort of doing like a reality check, like, shut up, you're a coconut, why do you care? And that's, I guess it could be a metaphor for like,
I don't think I got my point across earlier, but what I meant was that some people basically think that they're better than others or more entitled than others because they own a certain thing or they wear a certain thing. So it basically talks about people who put other people down because maybe they aren't as rich or they can't or they don't have a certain thing and therefore aren't in their eyes so worth as much as the person who has the thing or is rich or whatever.
but again, we're just kind of tapping in the dark here because that's all we have. We have like half, not even half, we have like a third of the lyrics and nothing else. So I don't know. I'm curious what this is about.
Okay, Melon and the Coconut is definitely going to have some kind of tropical vibe. Like very summer day, very chill, very breezy, gonna be like a bit of ocean sounds. I could imagine some, what are they called, like the burum burum burum, something like that. Maybe it's leaning a bit into rap, I don't know. And I don't think they're gonna do it, but it would be so funny if they did like different voices for the melon and the coconut.
Okay, next one. Your Love, Deja Vu. My favorite of the ones that have been released so far. Yeah, what a shame it reminds me of my ex, because that's such a good song wasted and such a garbage person. Okay, anyway, the song is 3 minutes 45 seconds. We already know it. We already love it. So again, same procedure as with Tokyo Drifting. So we're not gonna look at the lyrics right now because who has the time? So I just want to do like a quick summary. So basically, I think your love is about being stuck on a person that's not really healthy for you, especially in like a relationship that you just keep going back to for some reason, maybe because there's something that really appeals about that person to you, or just like that relationship, or you just can't get over it because they keep doing like one nice thing and then you're like, oh, okay, maybe we'll try again. Been there, done that. So I think that's something pretty relatable that a lot of people go through. I guess we'll just start in the top corner and work our way around. Sure. So we can see in the corner, like at the kind of neon boxing ring kind of situation, we can see a pair of handcuffs. So maybe that could mean that the speaker can't seem to escape this bad situation and is kind of chained to that person in a way. Or there's into some kinky shit. Okay, so next we have an old phone. So that could relate to the line of you call, but I just cut the line and just in general, like booty calls. Yeah, so next we have like a car, and that could relate to the line beams from your M2 are blowing through my room, even though I've been told that this is apparently an Audi M3. I don't know cars, so like around that car we have another chain that could again mean that he's like chained to the relationship and like can't move on. Also, Dave wears a lot of necklaces, so maybe that's just that. Maybe it's not that deep. Or maybe it is. We don't know. Then in the background we have a boot, and that could relate to the line, now you lay down in my shoes. Okay, so next we have a Polaroid camera and 3 undeveloped photos. So that could, one, be a reference to the Dreamland video, and could maybe show like the different attempts at the relationship, because there are multiple photos, but just, I don't know. Then we have like the computer game-esque press start, which could just mean like a new attempt, like, you know, in a video game when you failed, you get back to like the starting screen. So it's basically like they failed the relationship and now they're back to the start, and it's up to them to decide whether they want to play again or not. Then we have a juice box, probably relating to the line "immune to all the juice in us," even though that's not that kind of juice. And on that we have a fruit, which is, to me, at first I thought it was a peach, which would fit the context, I guess. Or it could be a tangerine, so like a hint to the song that's not released yet. Then we have a bed for obvious reasons, and the palm trees that are present almost everywhere. Like they're in the music video, they're in the Dreamland video, they're on the Dreamland cover, and I think they're on another cover too, but I'm not super sure about that right now. Next song is
Waterfalls coming out your mouth. And what I said before basically didn't make any sense. I just said like a lot of like a lot of things without really saying anything. So I hope this is a little better. The song is 2 minutes 42 seconds. We don't really know anything about it, or at least I couldn't find anything said in interviews and stuff. And there's a little bit of the lyrics on the vinyl. Drip drop, give me what you got. Your talk is so incredible, so sensual. You taste like surfing videos. I'm going to read your mind. Big dicks and big old titties on the sly. Say I got Aries eyes. Fuck no, I'm a bona fide Aquemini. Ooh, who you kidding? I can't really tell what the next part is saying. It could be Russians or like fusions or something. And dirty diamonds. Covered, your shyness. Covered, that I could see through you. The next part is also covered. Blank is right, blank been on that shit. And then blank like a clown. Clap, clap, you're a clever, clever cookie now. Waterfalls coming out of your mouth. What the hell are we doing now? Waterfalls, and then it's covered, and then we can see Waterfalls, and then it's covered, and then we can see you, and then it's also again covered, and the rest is also covered. So in conclusion, there's not a whole lot we can say. I think it might be about relationships, and especially the physical aspect of a relationship, and that because of that there may be a disagreement or some tension in that relationship, and that might lead to an argument. I think that this is the case because of the last lines that we can see. So the part about the clown, and also you're a clever cookie now, and I think maybe that there is a sort of argument of some kind. Waterfalls coming out your mouth. I think this one is sort of going to be like the youth or the hazy of the album, so it's gonna be like a bit more laid back and a little bit more chill, but it's still gonna be like really, really awesome, really captivating and really interesting, and I think it's gonna be a lot of people's favorite song actually.
So next song is It's Also Incredibly Loud. And luckily we know a bit more about this one. According to Enemy magazine, it's about mental health and friendships. And Flood magazine wrote the following: transfixed in thick sins and affecting lyrics, the moodier It's Also Incredibly Loud taps into that split second when you're about to say something to someone that will forever change their lives. If you've ever said something that you know is going to break that person, then you say it, and then it's almost like an out-of-body experience. And it feels like it's not you saying it, but then it comes out, says Bailey. It's about the 3 seconds between you saying it and then there's that silence, but it's also the loudest thing that's ever happened in your life. Okay, so for lyric-wise, we got the following: everything, waiting, shaking as it drops. I tried for you and I, for too hard, for too long. Gave it all and everything for more time, but I lost. Ooh, we're breaking down. Whispers could deafen me now. You don't make a sound. Heartbreak was never so loud. It's about conflict. Alright,
It's also incredibly loud. I think this one has like, or I think it would be cool if it had like sort of different parts that would be like some parts where it's really quiet, so it's just singing, and then it gets like really loud and like a lot of instruments, and just really fun, lots of cool like things, like basically a lot of like, I don't know, just really loud, really exciting, and then back to like a little bit more quiet and maybe just singing or just like a little piano or a little guitar or something. I think that would be pretty cool. Also, one piece of news that sort of came out about It's Also Incredibly Loud is that they might release the music video for It's Also Incredibly Loud before the album comes out. I don't know if you guys saw it on social media, but they basically asked for people's 3D scans of their heads. And the app they recommended to do that is called Trino or something. And they posted on their website that the project would be published on August 5th, so we might actually be able to hear It's Also Incredibly Loud before the album launches on the 7th.
Okay, so next song is Domestic Bliss. It's 3 minutes and 18. Give you a second. Okay, so basically this song deals with domestic abuse that just kind of gets ignored by the people around it, which we can also see from the title, like domestic bliss, like ignorance is bliss, like basically ignoring these signs of an abusive relationship and domestic violence. And it basically, Enemy said that this song deals with family breakdowns, and it's a story about Dave's friend's mother who was in an abusive relationship. The DIY magazine article or talked about it in a little more detail, but I don't think it's necessary to put that here because it doesn't really further like our understanding of the song. Okay, so basically the lyrics are as follows: I see the bruise, I see the truth, hide what he's been doing to you. Blood on the shoes, what's his excuse? He says he's doing some new kung fu. You always use this bullshit excuse, but I see what he's been doing to you. Why'd you put up with that shit? Why'd you go back for that kiss? Maybe it tastes like this when you've got tears on your lips. Why'd you put up with that shit? Why don't we pack and leave this? Why do you smile when he talks? Why do you cry when he wins? Okay, fight for me, we can leave. I'm begging, please, on my knees, go to Hawaii. You got balloons, new flowers too, last one's dying in your bedroom. He's squeezing you, blaming you? I don't know, this looks kind of weird. I think it's blaming you. Then the next part is covered, and then it's, oh my god, I'll be alright in. A trickle of lightning I knew before I heard. I felt it in my skin. Yeah, I think the lyrics and what has been said before speak for itself.
Okay, Domestic Bliss. I think in general, like the tempo is going to be, and also the build-up is going to be similar to Another Side of Paradise, but I think before the last part, like where it's like it's like a thunder thing, a strike of lightning or something. I think before that part's going to be building up to that is going to be real quiet, and then no wait, the part before that is going to be really loud, and then it gets quiet. Or the other way around, actually. I'm not sure. And I also think it's gonna be like really urgent, so it's gonna have like an unusual tempo or a little bit of dissonance, maybe. I don't know a lot of music, but basically when it sounds really uncomfortable, like it's uncomfortable to listen to, because I've never had a proper music class in my life, let's be real. But basically when it sounds like kind of wrong, so basically I think that might be in there. And I also think this song is going to be a bit slower. It's just gonna have like a little bit of a slower pace than the rest of the album.
I wanted to put on a different shirt because my boobies are kind of all over the place. Okay, next song is Heat Waves. It's 3:59. Again, we already know this, but let's talk about the cover. Let's again just go around. The first thing that goes is like a hanging lamp that's kind of swinging around. Then next we have like one of those old school bedside alarm clocks with the time 21:09, so 9:09. June 9th and Wednesday. Let's tear this apart. So 21:09, so 9:09 could be a reference to Helium, and maybe that could tell us that it's about the same person, or it could just be like a cheeky hint. So June 9th is not a Wednesday. It actually rarely falls on a Wednesday. At least it hasn't for like the past 6 years. That's as far as I check back. But June 9th, 2014 was the release of Zaba, so that could hint at that. That was actually a Monday, so that doesn't fit with the Wednesday, but could still be a hint, and the Wednesday is maybe something else. And the next Wednesday, July 9th, is actually 2021, so maybe something happens there. I don't know. Okay, next is A Broken Mirror. This song often talks about like distorted reflections of reality, so maybe that could just be like the broken mirror also being like a distorted reality. Then we have the word Dreamland kind of put there like the Hollywood logo, and there's a line in the song that also talks about usually we put something on TV, so we never think about you and me, but today I see our reflections clearly in Hollywood playing on the screen. So maybe that could be a hint to that, or maybe that Dreamland is a sort of imaginary world that is sort of like Hollywood, just like perfect and idealized version of reality. So next we have, obviously in the middle, we have the road, which like road shimmer, like the roads are like pretty significant. Also the music video is on the street, so that could refer to that. And also just in general, maybe the sort of road of life, I guess. Okay, so then we have a small sofa that could just be, again, hinting towards that like line about the TV and the escaping. Yeah, we have like a puddle that could refer to the line fake water all across the road, except now it's real water, and again that shows kind of the distorted reality of the relationship. We have the cereal that is also on the Dreamland cover, I think, but here it's not poured into the bowl yet, it's still like separate. I'm not sure what that could mean. Maybe it's that the song Heat Waves takes place before the line in Dreamland, but again, I don't know, I tend to overanalyze these things. Maybe it's just they didn't want to put the same picture twice. Okay, so then we have a different plant. I don't know, is it just me or does it kind of look like, I don't know what the vegetable's called, but like they have trees that look similar, I think. Then we have a window with shiny curtains, like neon light curtains, which I'm not sure what that means. Maybe blocking out the reality. Then we also have 3 TVs. That's pretty hard to say. We have 3 TVs, and that could just again talk about like the line about like the TVs and escapism. So I'd say the song Helium is about, not Helium, Heat Waves. The song Heat Waves is about not wanting to accept like the reality of a relationship and therefore not really being able to move on from it, even though it has overstayed its welcome. Okay, and that brings us to the last song. It's called Helium. It's 5 minutes and 28 seconds. We know that it deals with sexuality and it explores past relationships with a heavy heart. Flood magazine also said that relationships are further dissected on Helium. The track penetrates through fragmented relationships, often built on traumatic foundations. What we can make out from the vinyl is the lines 909, which is the time shown on the Waves cover. So that could probably refer to that. Are you gonna call it or am I? One more time, this puppy loves. I assume it says something along the lines of his fucking, but I'm not sure. Then there's another part that's covered, but it's so wrong. Covered, you covered like the sun, and then it's more covered. Sunflowers in the rain. Something blank said they used to be white pyramids, blank above the sand. They're slowly blank in. Blank our foundations destined to keep crumbling, just because we started this with zero innocence. I just can't build on something that begins like this. It's blood diamond flawless, but for that one thing. So I think, based on those last few lines, I think it might be that the relationship didn't start on like a good foundation, or it just wasn't the right time, or maybe it just wasn't like the relationship shouldn't have been possible, and that's why it slowly starts to fall apart, basically.
Okay, I think Helium is also going to be a slower song, and it's going to be pretty quiet. I think, especially at the beginning, it's going to be pretty quiet. But I think it builds up towards something really, really big at the end. I don't know. And I also think it's going to be like a lot of pretty light notes. I don't know how to describe music, but I think it's going to be like pretty flowy and like light, and I think like quiet, I guess. I don't know, just like I guess those a little bit softer and higher notes.
That's all the tracks, right? Well, maybe not. There might actually, excuse me, there might actually be a secret song, and it might be called White Pyramids. And I kind of want to explain why I think that.
Okay, so real quick before we get into this sort of theory, I just wanted to say that I talked to a few people on Reddit and we had a few discussions, and I've also seen another discussion that I wasn't a part of. And basically, there were other people who noticed these things, so I'm not claiming I'm like the only person or the original author or anything. So if you thought that too, that's cool. Okay. Also, this is just a theory. This isn't proven or anything, and it could be that we're all just completely wrong and that there is no secret check. I just wanted to clarify that so that you don't get your hopes up. Oh no.
So the first thing that kind of struck me as weird was how Helium is almost twice the length of the other songs on the album. Like they're all around 2:30 to 3:30, give or take it. And Helium is 5.5 minutes. So that was kind of weird. And then the next thing that kind of tipped me off was that NME also mentioned a song that's called White Pyramids in their article, but that's not on any of the track lists. And then when I was watching back the Dreamland TV Instagram live stream, and Dave basically confirmed that there is a secret track.
So basically what I wanted to say is that Dave said in the live stream that he accidentally put the secret track on one of the track lists, but I couldn't find White Pyramids on any of them. So this could instead be talking about home movie, are you watching TV, and not about White Pyramids. Some people on Reddit also said that White Pyramids was originally going to be on the album, but then it got scrapped. And that's why Enemy talks about it. But it's sort of left in Helium as a sort of reference to that. Again, one thing that sort of speaks for White Pyramids being on the album is that there are both the balloon, which represented Helium in the emoji track list, and also the White Pyramids in both on both the album cover and in the Dreamland video. So that might hit that they might actually be two different songs, because I don't think they would put two symbols for the same song.
So if that song is called White Pyramids, then the last part on the vinyl aren't actually the lyrics to Helium, but to White Pyramids. I think that's pretty exciting if that is actually another song and not just an addition to Helium, even though that would also be fine with me. So we'll see. 2 more weeks. Okay, so let's talk about Dreamland the song. So my initial ideas was that the songs and the lines are chronological, like an actual index would be, but I don't think that's the case, and you'll see that in a minute why I think that. And the next thought was that it might be reversed, like starting with the last song, but I don't think that's the case either. So then I also thought that maybe the chorus and the all around your head bits might represent the interludes, but then again that would probably also be linked to the chronological or reverse. And then I also kind of wondered what makes a line a line. So is it every time a new idea is proposed, but then it's more lines than songs, or is it every time he takes like a break when he sings? Like how I have it now, there's like no rhyme or reason to it. I just kind of put it like I thought it was right. And then I also thought about the correlation to the music video, like does maybe the relevant item to the song pop up when it's like when the line is being sung, but I tried watching it like through that lens, but I didn't really notice that, like maybe like for the first part it fits, but then during the last part it's just during the outro bit. Okay, so what I thought is that maybe the corresponding item to the song would pop up if it was talked about, but I'm not super sure about that. Okay, so let's just look at the lyrics and maybe we can put it together from there. So it obviously starts with the chorus, pulling down back streets deep in your head, slipping through dreamland like a tourist, twice. Then we have verse 1, which is that first friend you had, that worst thing you said. And I think that could be, it's also incredibly loud because it talks about basically saying something really bad to another person, and like that would fit the criteria of that worst thing you said.
That perfect moment, that last tear you shed. I think that talks about domestic bliss, because it's a song about obviously a really, really bad relationship, but it's also hard to leave that relationship behind and get out of it because of reasons we don't know yet. Okay, all you've done in bed, all on Memorex. I think I'm actually quite unsure on this line. I think it could be referring to waterfalls coming out your mouth, because it is really focusing on sexual relationships.
They talk a lot about sex, and like maybe, I don't know, that's something you do in bed. I don't have a good reason for all of these.
And then we basically have the line, all around your head, all around your head. Then we have the chorus again, and then we get into verse 2. You've had too much of the digital love, you want everything live, you want things you can touch. I think that line could refer to Hot Sugar, because because something that's featured in the chorus very heavily is the line, I wish that we could be real too. But this is also a very controversial line, and I saw many people arguing that it could mean different things. Okay, next is make it feel like a movie you saw in your youth, make it feel like a song that just unopened you. So I think that talks about heat waves, because the song is about sort of escaping your reality through television and through other kinds of media or other kinds of substances. And they also really push the TV theme throughout the whole song, and the sort of, and the material surrounding it. So with the promotional art, with the televisions on the cover and in the album, and I think that's something that's very prominent, and I think that could refer to that. Next is "You were 10 years old, holding hands in the classroom. He had a gun on the first day of high school." I think that is without a doubt about Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Because not only is it like literally about bringing a gun to high school, which is like the whole premise of the song, but also the line about holding hands in a classroom. I think they talked about holding hands during school dances or something.
You want something bizarre, odd conceptual cars, you want girls dressed in drag, you want boys with guitars.
Okay, so I'm kind of stuck on that like expression "girls dressed in drag." Like when I first heard that, I was kind of like, not entirely sure what that means yet. I think girls dressed in drag could either talk about like just women doing drag, like that's apparently a thing I didn't know about, or it could just in general talk about like the concept of drag, like the concept of drag, like kind of dressing like hyperly feminine and just playing into the societal expectations, or just really overplaying the societal expectations of what femininity means and what a woman looks like. Or it could just talk about like actual girls and drag, like drag kings, or it just could talk about regular drag queens. Like I don't, we'll see.
I think this song is, I'm not really sure about this one either, but I think it could be about Tokyo drifting. First because everybody's saying that, then second because obviously because of cars. So like obviously you need a car to drift, so that's what most people actually said. And I think it also fits in with hiding who you really are and what you really want in order to fit into a certain group or into a certain role you want, or to fulfill a certain role you want to be, which could refer to you want something bizarre, you want girls, you want boys, and not just talking about what you have, but what you want. Okay, then we have the chorus again. And then in verse 3 we got you see Kodachrome, you see pink and gold.
Okay, so first of all, like for those of you like me who are not really sure what all of that means, Kodachrome is basically an old brand of film, like for cameras, and it's also a movie, or like I guess also several movies and a song. And I think the movie is about some guy who has to get his estranged father's Kodachrome film developed somewhere, and he basically, through that film, he gets reminded of the good times they had together, and then forgives him before his father dies or something. I only skimmed the Wikipedia. I should have probably paid more attention. So basically that could be it, or maybe that could just be coincidence and not really an intentional like hint. So basically it means, so seeing basically something old, or maybe something you haven't seen in a while, or maybe it's something that's a bit faded. Then you see pink and gold, basically seeing something through like pink glasses. Is that the expression? So basically seeing something as like really romanticized or ideal, and also with the gold seeing something as like ideal. So, and I think that could refer to Tangerine, because it's about somebody who only wants to see a person in a certain light and can't really let go of the fact that they may not be what they want them to be.
You see Mulholland glow, you see in airplane mode. I wrote in my notes that's your love, because that's the only one that's left. But I actually think it could kind of fit, because the movie Mulholland Drive is, from what I could gather, about a person who tries to find out who she is, and I think that could also fit with your love. And I think that with the line "you see in airplane mode," that could actually sort of refer to only seeing sort of what you want to see and isolating yourself from other people's perspective. And I think that's what happens in Your Love. Okay, then we have All Around Your Head again, and then we have the outro. you float in the pool where the soundtrack is canned, you go ask your questions like what makes a man. And I think that one might be about what I think Melon and the Coconut is going to be about. So it's about your identity and finding out like what makes you a man and what society deems a man. And I think that could fit that theme of excluding certain people from something because they don't fit a certain criteria. I think that lines up pretty well with the question, what makes a man? And then obviously the last lines, oh, it's 2020, so it's time to change that, so you go make an album and call it Dreamland, is obviously talking about Dreamland. Duh. Okay, and I think that's it from me. Yep, okay, thanks, bye.